What's up, guys? Crime Time Podcast back talking Karen Reed case. Turtle Boy, right? Some people think a Turtle Boy is a hero. Some people hate this guy, right? This case is so controversial. The story continues to unfold. What do you think of Turtle Boy? But let's get into what he's talking about here. You see, this is from Lyra, right? She says, Real Journalism by Dr. Turtle Boy, indicted juror, not related to Karen Reed case. Buzzkill, but facts matter.
Who this person sent that information to. And this individual was visited by the feds about it, about this post. The post had nothing to do with the Karen Reed case. Nothing. And they came with receipts. And they're like worried about it. Like the FBI showed up at their door, wanted to look at her phone. It's a fucking, it is a buzzkill. Like, this is the biggest but I can't see him watching it. I go online and everyone on both sides, like our side is like, oh man, feds are coming. They're going to get all the McAlberts are all going down. And then the retards on the other side are saying, oh, they're coming after, they're going to get Karen Reed and Turtle Boy and all this shit. They're not, none of that's happening. This is all over a fucking post about the CDL shit. This is a fucking fact, an undeniable fucking fact that this is how this started, was the CDL thing. Now, the woman who is in trouble here, Jessica Leslie, right? She was on the Karen Reed grand jury, because you're on they sit you down for a grand jury. You hear all the fucking cases. You hear all of them with somebody.
All right, so you hear him speaking there, right? He was talking about the people on his side, right? Pro Karen Reed, and the people on the opposite side. I keep pointing this out. It's like, in the political world, how the two sides collide to the point. That's why I can't get wrapped up in the political stuff. And these are two different things we're talking about, politics and true crime. But I'm just saying, when it comes to the political stuff, it gets to the point where, like, family members don't talk to each other because they have a difference of opinion in political matters and what side they support and stuff like that. This true crime case, very heated in that way, right? With the Karen Reed, but I've been pointing out, as always, to everyone, please subscribe, hit the like. More importantly, get up in them comments. My whole thing always with whatever topic that we're talking about is, I'm just like, yo, I want to talk about it. I want to hear thoughts and opinions from both sides, and let's break it down. Let's bust it down and figure out, what it really is, and why people feel the way in which they do. Like, my whole saying is always, yo, I can agree to disagree. I feel like a lot of people can't. But you see what he's saying in this situation, this juror that was visited by the feds. It's a nothing burger. Both sides were incorrect. It has nothing to do with the case, according to what he's saying and other reports. Now let's see what people are talking about, right?
This person
indicted. Okay, so check out some of the replies here. Just like I said earlier, a nothing burger. Channel 5, The Globe, etc. all got it wrong? Question mark. And then, like, I don't know if that's a confused winky face. Someone says this juror was on the Karen Reed jury, but they see many cases. She leaked another case file. Then we have this right here, right? Officials did not disclose that Leslie was sitting on the grand jury hearing evidence about the state prosecution of Reed, who was acquitted by a grand jury in June of killing her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe, in 2022. However, two people familiar with the allegations confirmed that she was accused of leaking info related to Reed's case. So this is where I'm not sure exactly what media outlet this is that is reporting this, is saying two people familiar with the allegations. Now that's the thing too that we gotta talk about with the media, in that in this blogosphere world that we live in now, where information spreads so fast, there is a lot of media outlets doing half-ass bullshit, lazy bozo work right now. You know what I mean? And it's like, who are these two people? I mean, I get it. They don't have to directly cite that right there. But I mean, are you just trying to clickbait? Because saying someone familiar with the case, you can kind of twist that into anything in contextually. Do you know what I mean? And that's what a lot of these media outlets are doing. And then we got the AI bots, AI news articles that is just killing the media as well. Like there's a lot of AI YouTube channels, but there's like, for instance, another unrelated topic, right? But NFL season is getting closer. There is these media pages, right, that just pump out these bullshit AI articles that are all about like speculative speculation of trades or players getting cut, or this team's looking at that person. You know what I mean? Just because they know everyone's like, all the football fans are, I cannot wait for football season to get here. So they're like, oh, we just have these AI robots pump out these bullshit articles, and they title them in the most clickbaitish way. And it's like, it's just the media is falling apart more than ever these days, you know? And then like a lot of the media wants to reference YouTubers like they ain't shit. And don't get me wrong, there's great YouTubers that do all different kinds of content. And when it comes to the news and such, there's YouTubers that are putting in their work, doing their due diligence to the fullest. And, you know, there's YouTubers that ain't. And there's YouTubers that are clickbaiting too. But it's like crazy the shit that we're seeing with the media. I just wanted to point that out and want to know if anyone else feels that way, and just how insane that is to me. Like, it really is. So, because it's easy to just say, oh man, it's a crazy world we're living in. But like, why? What, like, with the news? A lot of news outlets are just compromised, or they're just being lazy, man, or they're clickbaiting, and it's a joke right here. Wrong. GTJC told me so. And then it says, let's be clear, Karen Reed, psycho fans. So is that like psychos and fans and sociopaths all put together in one word or something, or did they just misspell that? This federal juror would not be leaking info about the witnesses testifying or their testimony. They were the ones testifying. You people are truly brainwashed if you believe that the McCabe's, Alberts, or any other witnesses you have tormented is involved. And I don't know. Comment your thoughts on that. Someone says Big Red. Where did we go? Whoa. Okay, sorry. Yes, he's reliable. LOL. Feds charge grand juror in Karen Reed investigation with leaking info. A direct woman who sat on the federal grand jury that investigated the state's handling of Karen Reed's murder case has been charged with criminal contempt for allegedly leaking info about the secret proceedings. Jessica M. Leslie, 34, was charged Friday in federal court in Boston with one count of criminal contempt and has agreed to plead guilty, according to an announcement Tuesday by U.S. Attorney Leah B. Foley and Ted E. Dox, special agent in charge of the FBI Boston office. A plea agreement signed by Leslie Tuesday says the government and defense have agreed to recommend that she be sentenced to 1 day deemed served. What kind of sentence is that? Meaning she will not spend any time in prison if the judge adopts the recommendation. A hearing date has yet to be set. So then there's another varying report on if the info was leaked was about the Karen Reed case or about a different one. Because again, grand jury, that is true that when you sit on a grand jury, you do hear multiple cases. But that's fucking crazy. So basically, time served for just pleading out on it. What's up with that? You know what I mean? There's so much funny stuff going on with this case. Again, that's what I keep saying on every video about this Karen Reed case and the aftermath of the the verdict in the case, right? Like, are they going to do more? Clearly, like, okay, we're seeing feds now with the grand jury, right? We saw Turtle Boy catch a fed case or whatever, right? But are the feds going to get involved where they are going to get to the bottom of what happened to John O'Keefe, right? Because there's something that I pointed out in a previous video earlier where I played a clip. I'll link the video in the comments below. But there's a clip, and it was a news clip from an article, or it was a news clip from prior when deliberations were still going on. And basically, the dude said, hey, with this Karen Reed case, and again, this is what I'm saying. It's like whether you're like you think she did it or not, I don't know how anyone can't think that there's more to it. Even if you believe that Karen Reed is guilty, which she's not as far as court goes. But like say you think that they fucked up and that she was indeed guilty. I just don't understand how anyone cannot think that that's all she wrote, that there was not other stuff going on, that there's just so much. Like if you followed this case, man, there was some crazy things involved in the fact that law enforcement is involved in the case, in my opinion, is why they're so standoffish in certain areas. It's how it always goes when police. It is so hard to prosecute police. It's crazy, and it shouldn't be that way. And that's why corruption runs so rampant the way in which it does, in abuse of power and stuff like that, because police don't really fear paying any consequences. They're like, oh, what are you going to do? Force me into retirement? Or what? Oh, I'm going to quit here and go get a job in another. We've seen it time and time again. Law enforcement quits one place. Sometimes they go one county over and get a job and get into some more bullshit. You know what I mean? But there's just, I don't know. As far as with this juror, we have varying reports about if the leak is tied to the Karen Reed case or another case that she heard on the grand jury. But this Karen Reed stuff is just bonkers to me. Where were we? Apologies, y'all. Okay, wrong. Okay, my bad. Big red. Okay, here we are. Dates seem to match, but, and then we got right here. This is fascinating and potentially damaging for others. That she is immediately pleading guilty to an information means she negotiated a plea early in the process, which may also prove damaging for others. Okay, that's interesting because, like we just said, not only did she already seemingly negotiate this plea, the feds are gonna, they're coming at her about leaking, but not only is it all that's all she wrote. The pleas negotiated for time served. What? Like, nothing makes sense in this case, man. Nothing does. And here we go, right here. United States District Court, District of Massachusetts, United States of America versus Jessica M. Leslie. The United States Attorney charges from or about August 11, 22, through on or about March 4th, 2024, in the District of Massachusetts, the defendant, Jessica M. Leslie, knowingly and willfully disobeyed and resisted a lawful order, rule, decree, and command of a court of the U.S. that is Federal Rule of Criminal Procedure, and the order and command of the Honorable United States District Judge on May 26, 2022, that a grand juror must not disclose a matter occurring before the grand jury when, on diverse dates, she disclosed information presented to the grand jury to unauthorized individuals, to wit, the names of various witnesses appearing before the grand jury and the substance of their testimony, apologies, y'all, and other evidence presented to the grand jury, all while said info was under seal and not subject to disclosure. So I don't know. This person is saying the dates and times match, but that is very bizarre to me that the plea is negotiated, and if that is indeed accurate, that it's basically a time served sentence. What the fuck is going on? What CDL thing? Who said the leaker wasn't talking to those involved in the Reed case? Perhaps the NCDAO ban of corrupt cops in murdering McAlberts. Again, the feds got to get involved in a capacity with the homicide. Okay, we're seeing them with Turtle Boy indictment. And again, I'm not someone with any of this stuff. Just like I was saying with political matters, I just try to sit back in between and see what both sides are saying and see what's going on in regards to certain policies, and fact check things and stuff like that, and make my own decisions and everything like that. As always, I can agree to disagree, but I just can't see how anyone can agree that there is so much fluffery going on with this case, man. What's it called? It click pick. What's it say? Masshole Mafia. Remember about a month ago when I said Karen Reed still had to deal with the federal stuff? The feds are coming. Stay tuned. This don't necessarily mean the feds are coming for her, does it? Because, and again, we're seeing varying reports if it is indeed tied to the Reed case or not. Because there's something I'm probably gonna get to in another video about this, because I know this video is stretching out for the duration. It's kind of a long one. Again, guys, subscribe, hit the comments, but more importantly, join the discussion. If you're new over here, we talk true crime, etc. But there's some other stuff tied to this. Like, it hasn't been confirmed either way. To my knowledge, and correct me if I'm wrong. That's another thing. I never claim to be the guy that knows everything. No, sir. I don't rock like that. I'm just a guy talking into a device, engaging with other people out there in the blogosphere, asking for y'all to talk with me. But I'm seeing varying reports. I've not seen anything totally confirming that it is tied to the Reed case. And that is true. When you sit on a grand jury, you do hear multiple cases. But the feds are coming. Stay tuned. Feds charge grand juror and Karen Reed investigation with leaking info. A drag-hit woman who sat on the federal grand jury that investigated the state's handling of Karen Reed's MURDER case has been charged with a criminal contempt for allegedly leaking info about the secret proceedings. Jessica Leslie was charged Friday in federal court in Boston with one count of criminal contempt and has agreed to plead guilty. And again, how such a quick plea deal come to happen like that, and how is the sentence so light if that is indeed factual? To an announcement Tuesday by U.S. Attorney Leah B. Foley and Ted E. Docks, special agent in charge of the FBI's Boston office. Apologies, y'all, for all the background noise as well. A plea agreement signed by Leslie Tuesday says the government and defense have agreed to recommend that she be sentenced to, and here we see once again, 1 day deemed served, meaning she will not spend any time in prison if the judge adopts. So it's basically the same report we already seen. But and then you see right here, Nothing Burger, someone else is saying in regards to that. So I don't know, varying reports about this. We're going to get to one other thing in it. Well, I'm just going to do it in another video. Or should I do it in this one? I don't know. We'll do it in another video. But yeah, it's crazy, man. Karen Reed case. So much drama. So much going on. The feds are involved. But I want to see the feds get involved as far as the law enforcement side of things. You can never trust just regular law enforcement to investigate themselves when there is wrongdoing on their side.